Welcome to the Myrtle Beach Aware Coastal Cast, your dedicated source for all things weather along the Grand Strand. Stay up to date with the latest forecasts, storm updates, and weather trends that impact the Myrtle Beach area. Whether you're planning a day or preparing for a storm, the Coastal Cast keeps you informed and ready for whatever the weather brings. Stay tuned as this week's Coastal Cast starts right now. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Coastal Cast Live. I am Andrew Houston, and I hope you are enjoying this little bit of a warm-up that we've had over the past couple days after an unprecedented, once-in-a-decade snowstorm has hit the Myrtle Beach area, bringing us several inches of accumulating snow, which is, looking out my front window, just about melted. Completely gone now. How much snow do you have in your area? We'd love to hear from you on that. So please send in what you have remaining. Let's see some pictures of the last bit of remaining snow that we have in Myrtle Beach and surrounding areas after our once in a generation storm that came through. That winter storm was, number one, a blast to forecast. Number two, very difficult to forecast as things kind of were all over the place. We had that high pressure system up over portions of the Ohio Valley that seemed to be limiting the amount of moisture that we were able to bring in off the coast and bring us that accumulating snow. And then eventually at the last moment, bam, that high pressure kind of wanted to shift a little bit north and to the east and allowed a lot more moisture to work its way in here. So just a very fun storm. Definitely something that I was really looking forward to so I could build confidence in you guys in my forecasting. And as far as I'm concerned, I nailed my forecast, and I'm very happy with the results of that as far as accumulation. Some forecasters wanted to bump their accumulation numbers up just at the beginning of the storm. I decided to stay steady where I was, and it panned out and paid off for me. So I hope that you guys got out of that forecast something to keep you aware and know what was going on. And I hope that you enjoyed the little bit of a chase that we had out driving around and taking a look at something that we don't get to see on a normal basis. It was super exciting to be out there. We definitely want to thank Toyota for making a freaking awesome car in the snow. That little Toyota Corolla Cross that we've got for our chase vehicle did a fantastic job in the snow. And we couldn't be more excited to have that in our arsenal as we kind of build that chase vehicle over the next couple months. There may be some really cool things coming down the line here for that as well. But we want to thank you for joining the Coastal Cast Live today. This episode is brought to you by Palmetto Protection Films. If you're looking for a window tint, either automotive or residential commercial, they are the place to go. If you're looking for window safety, for people can't smash out your windows at your business, they can definitely install that security film as well. So Palmetto Protection Films in Myrtle Beach, wonderful company, family-owned business. So support them if you can. Automotive tint, they are top-notch for the automotive tint, and they install some of the best tint products that you will find on the market, and they pride themselves on installing the best films. So check them out, Palmetto Protection Films. They'd love to hear from you. Tell them we sent you. Anyway, so we got that now over and done with here. We want to take a peek at what we're looking at here. So what we're looking at here is our 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook. And I know that many of you are very excited to kind of see what is happening with this warming trend now. That Arctic blast is pretty much over for us. We still will see some cooler evenings here, but that's just normal winter. But as far as the below normal temperatures, they are out of here and making their way back to Canada where they belong. So as we look to the 6 to 10 day temperature probability forecast, we are trending well above average in our area. Portions of the northwestern parts of the country will be trending a little bit, a lot colder than normal. But you can see that pattern shift here, which is wonderful. I love to see the southeast and deep south covered in that above normal temperature range. As we look out to the 8 to 14 day, still again, we are looking in that above average, but we are starting to see another shift in that Arctic air coming down and penetrating down into portions of, say, Oklahoma, western Texas, all the way out into Nevada, California, all of those areas, seeing a lot of that below average temperatures as we kind of work through the next 8 to 14 days. So into the beginning of February, us here in the South, we are still looking at above normal temperatures, which is what we want to see, considering we live at the beach and we're ready for beach season again. We've had our snow. We're done with that. Let's transition back to what it's supposed to be like here at the beach. As far as precipitation goes, over the next 6 to 10 days, we are going to be averaging right around normal. As we go through the next 8 to 14 days, we will be trending pretty much normal here just on the coast, but in the portions of the central to western portions of the state into Georgia, much of North Carolina, all will be trending a little bit above normal for precipitation. And that's going to be several factors here that we'll discuss as we kind of move through the broadcast today. But as we are looking here, we will transition here over to what we're going to be looking at as far as what our weather is going to look like over the next week. So starting today into tomorrow morning, we've got a slow moving front that's going to be moving through the area tonight and tomorrow, bringing showers throughout the day, mainly before 1 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow's high is near 48 degrees, but don't panic. Temperatures are going to be increasing and be on the rise as we move through the beginning portion of the week out to Wednesday. I think you're going to be really happy with the temperature forecast for Wednesday as we move through. Let me get back to my slides here. And here we are looking 7 a.m. on Tuesday. 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Low pressure moves off the coast. This is that cold front that's coming through our area overnight between tonight and tomorrow. This is a slow moving front, very stationary over Texas and Louisiana. But as it moves through, here you can see tomorrow morning by 7 a.m., that front is still center of low pressure, begins over portions of southeastern Texas, and by Monday still sitting over that southeastern and southwestern portion of Texas and Louisiana, not moving a whole bunch. We got high pressure built in over Georgia. That's kind of stalling this system out slightly, but eventually that high pressure is going to dip down and allow that front to kind of make its way through. Now we do have this trough here extending off of a cold front that's associated with an area of low pressure way up in Canada, will extend all the way down into South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and that'll play a little bit of a role kind of as we go through the next couple days. But let's see here. Let's move on to this here. So this is going to kind of give us a little bit more of an example of what exactly is happening along with these cold fronts as they are in these systems of areas of low pressure that are moving through. This is going to be 7 p.m. today. The cold front's approaching with moisture located over Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. As high pressure will start, this high pressure system over Georgia is going to start pushing south and allow that system to make its way and get a little bit of forward momentum into our area for tomorrow. So as you can see, this front here is the center of low pressure is going to be just over the mountains of North Carolina, which it looks to bring a little bit of accumulating snow, maybe 1 to 2 inches of accumulating snow to the mountains of the far northwestern portion of North Carolina and northeastern portions of Tennessee. These are mountainous areas. So we're looking at some snow accumulation up in the mountains of those two states, North Carolina and Tennessee, looking to receive a little bit of accumulating snow. But for us, we're looking at rain likely for our area throughout the day tomorrow as we move through. Typically, roughly around 1 p.m., 1 to 4 p.m., that rain is going to be through here and gone as that front wants to continue its way across. So here we're looking at 7 a.m. Monday. Rain chances start to increase as we go throughout the day. Again, like I said, 1 p.m., everything should start to be working its way out of here. As of 7 a.m., I think I got my times wrong. Yep, 7 a.m. Tuesday. Okay, as of 7 a.m. Tuesday, we are looking at that cold front still sitting over portions of western South Carolina, central Georgia. And again, like I said in the beginning, this is a very slow moving front as high pressure is kind of influencing that and pushing it, keeping it pretty much stationary over us. But that front is going to begin to start accelerating forward and kind of eject off of the South Carolina coast. Again, may have a slight chance of showers right along the coast, but for the most part, that high pressure is going to be influencing, and this high pressure back here over Texas is also going to be influencing the push of this, as well as bringing some dry air into the atmosphere, not allowing a lot of that precipitation to hit the ground. But if we do want to see a chance of precipitation, it's going to be right along the coast there on Tuesday as we move through the day. Now, as we get into 7 a.m. on Tuesday, high pressure builds in. But again, you can see this trough extending all the way from portions of Pennsylvania all the way down. And again, that's associated with an area of low pressure up in Canada and a cold front that extends all the way through New England, Pennsylvania, and back up into Canada. A very large cold front for that area, looking to bring a little bit of lake effect snow to the western portions of Pennsylvania and New York as well. So they're going to be experiencing some of that lake effect snow yet again for this year. And as we kind of move through 7 a.m. on Wednesday, high pressures to our south down here over Florida is going to funnel in some warmer air, keeping us pretty warm for the day on Wednesday. We are going to be looking at temperatures up close to 65 to 70 degrees. As this, if you look at this area of low pressure here, the center of low pressure is going to be still up over Canada, but extending all the way down into South Carolina. And that's going to be the winds from that associated. So that's going to start bringing us in a little bit of that northwesterly flow, westerly to northwesterly flow of air. And that's going to kind of cool us down a little bit as we go into Thursday. Again, not a significant cool down, but Wednesday we are looking in the 60s, close to 70, and Thursday we will cool down again, just ever so slightly into the 50s for highs for that day. And here this is going to be 7 a.m. on Thursday. We're watching this area of low pressure here over Texas, which is going to be bringing us our next weather maker on Saturday as we move through the day on Saturday into the overnight hours into Sunday. But as far as our weather here on Thursday, we're going to be under this influence of high pressure, which will be bringing us winds at that point out of the northeast at that point, and keeping our temperatures a little bit cooler than that we would see on Wednesday. Now, as far as that next weather maker that we're going to push out here to Saturday. So Saturday, you can see that area of low pressure going to extend all the way down through Louisiana and into the Gulf of America. We have a warm front here just to our southwest through Georgia and over parts of Alabama down into the panhandle of Florida, which will be out ahead of that cold front that will eventually work its way through here Saturday into Sunday. But we're going to see those rain chances increase. And you can't rule out, with that warm front out ahead of that cold front, you can't rule out the chance of a scattered thunderstorm as well. Don't think the overnight hours Saturday into Sunday is going to be a complete washout. However, we are going to be looking at those rain chances of scattered showers at that point. And we'll take a look at that on our future cast as we kind of move through here today. But taking a look here, we're going to pull up some models here. We're going to transition back over here to pivotal weather. We're going to pull up the GFS model, kind of looking through the week, and then we'll zoom in a little bit on South Carolina and kind of bring that up for you as well. So let's take a peek. We'll animate this here, and we'll work our way through tonight and into tomorrow. So this is going to be the overnight hours. This is 7 p.m. tonight, working through into about 7 a.m. tomorrow when we expect precipitation to start. Here you can see that snow here in the portions of northeastern Tennessee, northwestern North Carolina, which is expected to bring about 2 inches of snow. And we'll take a peek at the accumulation for that as well. For if you have any friends or family up in that area. And we definitely want to keep Western North Carolina people in our prayers here, as some of them are still living in tents and things. So we want to bring that forecast to them as well. But thinking about us here on the Grand Strand, 7 a.m. and by 1 p.m. into 4 p.m., maybe a lingering shower or two left around the area. But for the most part, we will start to clear out. As we go through the week here, you can see high pressure building in here on Tuesday over portions of Alabama. And that eventually starts to kind of bounce around a little bit and wants to shift to the south, allowing this low pressure system here to eject out of Texas. And that's what's going to bring us our next weather maker for Saturday. Now, looking at portions of Texas on Thursday, Friday, they are running the risk of the possibility of severe weather into portions of central Texas, eastern Texas, into Louisiana, which we'll be keeping an eye on for that as well. But here, as you can see, Friday, that area of low pressure really wants to kind of take off here and make a line of storms extending all the way well up in through Arkansas and close to the Ohio Valley. And eventually this system wants to eject to the northeast and bringing the potential for some freezing rain and sleet to areas of northeastern Pennsylvania, eventually transitioning to snow as they get a little bit closer to the New England and that 540 line freezing there. But as far as for us, here we are out at Saturday. So this is 7 a.m. on Saturday right here. You can see some precipitation looking to want to make its way here towards the coast with a very impressive line of showers and storms to the western portions of South Carolina, western Georgia, extending all the way down into the Gulf of America and through portions of Alabama at that point. Throughout the day here, you can see the rain wants to stay pretty heavy here. Could see a potential of a thunderstorm or so. And then as we get into the evening and overnight hours, rain starts to increase. The rain chances increase here along the coast. And like I said, can't rule out that thunderstorm possibility or maybe a roll of thunder associated with that as we go through the overnight hours. But into 7 a.m. on Sunday, we are clearing out and the weather is completely done for us at that point. But also looking at a pretty significant winter storm here for portions of New England and going all the way up and stretching up into portions of southern Maine as well before that ejects completely out into the Atlantic. Still seeing some snow chances here and some lake effect snow chances for associated with this area of low pressure up here over Canada, extending all the way down into portions of eastern Pennsylvania, bringing some chances for snow with that. But as far as us, high pressure is going to start building in then as we go into Monday and Tuesday of next week. And I'm going to end that right there as we're not going to be looking too much further out from there. Now let's kind of come in a little bit closer here to South Carolina, and let's take a peek at this is simulated reflectivity here, and this is, I'm going to move this back to today. So this is going to be 7 p.m. Oh, sorry. There we go. So that was this morning, working through. So this is going to be 7 p.m. tonight. We got that rain at 7 p.m. tonight. Rain is starting to move its way through portions of Mississippi into Alabama, eventually across Georgia, and in the overnight hours by 7 a.m. into portions of coastal South Carolina. And we're looking at the possibility for some heavier rain showers here across the portions of the central portions of South Carolina at that point, and scattered showers throughout the day tomorrow. Eventually by 1 p.m. or so, things start to move out and conditions improve for us as far as rain goes. And then dry air moves in. And our next weather maker, you can see setting up here in Texas on Thursday, Friday, and eventually making its way across and into Saturday for us. 12Z on Saturday. This is 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Rain chances increase for portions of western South Carolina, and then throughout the day and into the overnight hours, rain starts to work its way through the Grand Strand, and eventually by Sunday morning at 7 a.m., completely clear and everything is out of here. So not a whole lot as far as weather makers. Definitely a much different forecast from last week's Coastal Cast episode, which was actually an emergency update to the winter storm that we had. Not a whole lot really going on as far as anything major, any significant impacts. So not a whole lot to talk about really as far as weather goes, but we are watching trends as we go through the next 7 to 10 days on models. Looks to be, could be some significant snowstorms for portions of the Ohio Valley up into Pennsylvania, several rounds of snow looking over the next 7 to 10 days as models are forecasting for those storms to come across. And the pattern's kind of shifting here. Most of these storms are coming off of the southern tip of California. So let's zoom out here and we'll go to the contiguous. So you could see a lot of these systems are stemming from California, kind of building there, and then these areas of low pressure work their way across, eventually wrapping up over Texas and ejecting towards the northeast. And you'll see that pattern here as we kind of go through. There's another system, California, working down, pulling moisture off of the Gulf of America, ejecting that moisture up into the Dakotas, and then eventually back over the northeast yet again. And here's the third system right here over the northeast, which impacts us on Saturday. So And then as we kind of move out a little bit further, some more systems here out over the Pacific working their way across the country. So a lot of interesting weather patterns as far as winter storms. Nothing for us though. And we want to keep it that way for the rest of the winter. We'll send that snow back up to the Northeast where it belongs, and looking forward to seeing that warm up here over the next week. And really hope that you guys enjoy Wednesday, as temperatures will be getting close to that 70-degree mark, which is something that we really wanted to see. But other than that, that's pretty much all I have for this week's Coastal Cast episode. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If you haven't done so yet, please smash that like button, comment on this feed, and share it out to your friends and family. Your support means everything to us. And as always, stay aware, and we'll see you next week on next week's episode of the Coastal Cast Live. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for joining us.